Hi, welcome to Fiction Fingers Fairy Channel. Please subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories, and don't forget to like and share this video. Thank you. Tina was the eldest of 4 siblings born into a modest family struggling to make ends meet. Their father, plagued by alcoholism, often left their household in disarray, both emotionally and financially. With her father's erratic behavior disrupting their home life, Tina's mother works at a local convenience store. However, the meager earnings from the job were barely enough to cover the family's basic needs, let alone provide any semblance of comfort or security. One day, as Tina watched her mother return home from another long day at the convenience store, weary and worn, her heart sank. The tired lines etched on her mother's face told a story of endless toil and hardship. "Mom, you look exhausted," Tina remarked with concern, rushing to her side to offer support. Her mother managed a weak smile, but the strain was evident in her eyes. "It's been a tough day at work, sweetheart," she admitted, her voice tinged with exhaustion. "But seeing you always makes it better." Tina's heart swelled with both pride and sorrow as she hugged her mother tightly. "I wish I could do more to help," she whispered, feeling the weight of their family's struggles pressing down on her shoulders. Her mother's embrace tightened, conveying a silent understanding of the burdens they shared. "You're doing more than enough, Tina," she reassured her daughter, her voice trembling with emotion. "You're my rock, and I don't know where we'd be without you." Tina's eyes welled up with tears at her mother's words, a mix of gratitude and sadness washing over her. "I just wish Dad would stop asking you for money," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. Her mother's expression darkened, a shadow passing over her features. "I know, sweetheart," she murmured, her voice heavy with resignation. "But your father's addiction has a hold on him that's hard to break." Tina's fists clenched at her sides, frustration bubbling within her. "It's not fair," she exclaimed, her voice trembling with anger. "He shouldn't treat you like this." As the eldest sibling, Tina felt the weight of her family's struggles pressing down on her shoulders. She worked tirelessly, both at school and at a part-time job, to contribute what little she could to the household income. Yet, no matter how hard she worked, it seemed as though their financial situation continued to deteriorate. One evening, after a tiring day, Tina balanced her textbooks and a stack of groceries as she trudged through the front door, greeted by the familiar sight of her siblings doing their homework at the kitchen table. "Hey guys," she greeted with a tired smile, setting down her load. Her younger brother, David, looked up from his math problems with a frown. "Tina, you look beat," he observed, concern evident in his voice. Tina sighed, sinking into a chair beside him. "It's been a long day," she admitted, running a hand through her hair. "But I've got some groceries for dinner." Her sister, Emily, glanced over from her notebook, her brow furrowed. "Did you remember to get the milk?" she asked, a note of worry in her voice. Tina's heart sank as she realized her mistake. I forgot," she confessed, guilt gnawing at her insides. "I'm sorry, Em. I'll go back and get it." Her youngest sister, Sarah, piped up from her coloring book. "It's okay, Tina," she said with a reassuring smile. "We can have cereal without milk." Tina's eyes welled up with tears at Sarah's innocence, her love for her siblings overwhelming her. "Thanks, Sarah," she choked out, her voice thick with emotion. As they gathered around the table for dinner, Tina couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude for her siblings' unwavering faith in her. Despite the hardships they faced, their bond remained unbreakable, a beacon of hope in the midst of adversity. As the siblings shared dinner, laughter and chatter filled the air, momentarily masking the weight of their worries. However, their fragile peace was shattered when the front door creaked open, announcing their father's arrival. Tina's stomach churned with dread as she watched him stumble into the room, reeking of alcohol and anger. "Tina, go fetch me a drink," her father slurred, his words slurred and demanding. Tina exchanged a worried glance with her siblings, silently pleading for them to remain calm. "Dad, I think you've had enough to drink for one night," she ventured cautiously, hoping to defuse the situation. Her father's eyes narrowed dangerously, his temper flaring at her defiance. "Don't you dare talk back to me, girl," he barked, his voice laced with venom. "Give me money too," he said while looking at Tina's mother. Tina's mother intervened, stepping forward with trembling hands. "Please, honey, let's not fight tonight," she pleaded, her voice trembling with fear. "We don't have any money to spare." Her father's face darkened with rage, his fists clenching at his sides. "You lying wench," he spat, his words dripping with venom. "I know you've been hiding it from me." Tina's heart pounded in her chest as she watched the scene unfold before her. She knew what would come next, the inevitable violence that seemed to follow her father's drunken rages like a shadow. Her mother's eyes brimmed with tears as she backed away, seeking refuge behind Tina and her siblings. "Please, just leave us alone," she pleaded, her voice barely above a whisper. But her pleas fell on deaf ears as her father lunged forward, his rage consuming him. With a roar, he swung his fist at Tina's mother, striking her across the face with brutal force. Tina's siblings cried out in horror as their mother crumpled to the ground, her body trembling with pain. Without hesitation, Tina stepped between them, shielding her mother from further harm. "Dad, stop!" she cried, her voice trembling with a mixture of fear and defiance. "You can't keep doing this to us!" Her father's eyes blazed with fury as he advanced on Tina, his fists clenched and ready to strike. "You think you can defy me?" he snarled, his voice dripping with contempt. "I'll show you who's in charge." Such was the life of Tina and her family. Every time her father returned home, their family harmony would vanish, replaced by tension and fear. Laughter and joy only returned when her father disappeared for days at a time, offering them a brief respite from his destructive behavior. Despite the ongoing challenges in her family life, Tina remained steadfast in her determination to build a better future for herself and her loved ones. Through sheer grit and perseverance, she managed to secure a scholarship that allowed her to continue her education at college. It was a glimmer of hope in an otherwise tumultuous existence, and Tina seized the opportunity with both hands. "I got the scholarship, Mom!" Tina exclaimed, her voice filled with excitement as she shared the news with her mother and siblings. Their faces lit up with pride and joy, a collective sigh of relief escaping their lips. Her mother enveloped Tina in a tight embrace, tears of gratitude streaming down her cheeks. "I knew you could do it, sweetheart," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "I'm so proud of you." With her college tuition covered, Tina juggled her studies with her part-time job, determined to excel academically while still providing for her family. Late nights spent poring over textbooks were followed by early mornings at the convenience store, but Tina refused to let exhaustion dampen her spirits. "Keep up the good work, Tina," her boss encouraged, impressed by her dedication and work ethic. Tina's earnings from her job helped alleviate some of the financial strain on her family, allowing her mother to breathe a little easier, knowing that they had a steady source of income. Luckily, Tina's father had not returned home for a long time. Since Tina entered college, she, her mother, and her siblings had not heard any news about their father. The absence of their father brought great relief and happiness to the family, despite occasional moments of wondering where he might be. Sometimes worries arose in their hearts if their father suddenly reappeared. However, amidst the relief, there lingered a sense of uncertainty and unresolved emotions. The absence of closure regarding their father's whereabouts left them with unanswered questions and a lingering sense of unease. They couldn't shake the feeling that their father's sudden reappearance could disrupt the fragile peace they had managed to find in his absence. Despite the mixed emotions, Tina and her family learned to adapt to life without their father's presence. They found solace in their newfound stability and the absence of the chaos that had once defined their family dynamic. Together they forged ahead, focusing on their own growth and happiness. Tina became an incredibly independent individual. With the absence of her father's presence, she took on a multitude of responsibilities, both at home and in her personal life. She learned to navigate the challenges of daily life with determination and resilience, relying on her own strength and resourcefulness to overcome obstacles. As graduation day approached, Tina felt a swell of pride and anticipation. Despite the odds stacked against her, she had persevered, emerging stronger and more determined than ever before. With her diploma in hand, she knew that the future held endless possibilities both for herself and for her family. "Congratulations, Tina!" her siblings cheered, their faces beaming with pride as they watched their older sister walk across the stage to receive her diploma. "We knew you could do it!" Tina smiled through tears of joy, her heart overflowing with gratitude for the unwavering support of her family. To be continued.